We're live. Hi, Kim.
Hi, how are you, Karen? I'm so glad you joined me.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, I guess we'll see more of you as time goes on as well.
Oh, that'd be great.
It's exciting times, and I guess I want to say thank you for being around for 4 years and working with Rich Thinking to Grow and playing with Rich Thinking to Grow and reading and sharing and studying. And I'm really excited that Sage Navigation and Katherine Ewart has got excited about the journey and said, yes, our community would love this, exactly what our community needs. So that's what we'll talk about because it's starting up soon.
So it is next week.
Next week. The summer went by in a wink.
Doesn't it always? But you know what? I don't feel that way this year for some odd reason. I think because my summer kind of started in May, where we went away on a holiday and got right into the beautiful weather, and we came back, the beautiful weather stayed with us. And I love to just take advantage and steal moments, even if it's a few minutes at lunch break or going out and spending a lot of time outside. I have a beautiful flower garden. Like, you gotta feel those chances when you get them.
Well, one of the things I'll say I'm really excited about to share with the community is you joining us on this journey, and with especially the mental pillar, which we spoke of, but really to join and grow it. And Rich Thinking to Grow is something so dear to everything I stand for, right? So we got a lot of stuff coming. And I guess what we say is, so, Wednesday night at 7 p.m., we get together in a group on Zoom. And there's no prep work. There's no homework. What it is it's a very social and fulfilling, so wealthy socially, with a group of people that are very different in many ways, but we all share our love of learning, love of sharing, love of reading, love of
growing. We are really growing together and exchanging ideas and having these great animated discussions and enjoying growing together.
Oh, and hi, Robert. Robert's joining us in Facebook, so it's really nice that you're there and you pop in to say hello, because we can recognize how valuable you are to us, how grateful we are. And we will talk about physical pillars sometime, I think in January. And when we do, we'll really be glad to have Robert join us on those conversations. And for tonight, to get back and speak about book, Rich Thinking to Grow Book Club. And it's about wealth seekers. So if you're not sure of what it is, reach out, put it in the comments, jump on a Zoom call, jump on a phone call, just reach out. We love new people, new minds, because we all know, and Napoleon Hill says it really well, that we learn best when we're teaching. And where do we learn? Is from the people receiving. And we're so fortunate in our community to have amazing, generous human beings that care and are curious. So I would share, I'm very excited. We were going to do a Peggy McCall book because we did it last year. Savvy Wisdom 1 was a wonderful book, and we were going to jump on 2. And after some reflection, because we have new people joining us, we made a decision to change that book. And I want to share with you, I wish that I could have seen this, because Karen, when she received her copy of a book that I started to read months ago in a book club, I wish I would have been a fly on the wall to watch you open that book.
It's true. I was very excited to open it. And without further ado, I don't know if my camera is actually going to
Oh,
focus.
there I see it now. Yeah.
The Science of Getting Rich. That is going to be our book starting this fall. I'm just getting a head start and reading a few of the pages, but we will start reading this together. Nobody we haven't started yet. So we're really starting from the beginning and we're going to read together. So maybe I can just go into the format of how we sort of proceed when we get together. So we'll start our Zoom meeting. Everybody who's interested will get the Zoom link and you just log on. And we start by reading together. If you want to read, you can announce that you want to read. And what we're going to try to do this year is going to be a little bit different. And we'll try to select the readers ahead of time so that we have sort of a plan of who's going to read how many pages and whatnot. And we'll be able to know who's interested. Not obliged to read. Nobody is obliged to read. You can just listen. You're not even obliged to buy the book. You can just sit and listen and never read. What we do want is we'd love to hear your ideas if you want to share them. And it's always in positivity and in kindness. So we read together for about 20 minutes, a half hour, and then we talk. We are not only going to cover this book, we are also always going to come back and touch on one of our favorites, a wonderful book from Napoleon Hill called Think and Grow Rich. I think I have to put it beside my face if I want it.
Right behind you there. Go. Good. Perfect. I see it.
Anyways, Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. So what we are probably going to learn is that Napoleon Hill, when he wrote Think and Grow Rich, was very much influenced by the science of getting rich, which is why we chose that particular book. We've gone through a few books and
Oh, can't hear you when you go away from the camera.
sorry, we've gone through
I do that all the time.
We've gone through a few books and we're always coming back to Think and Grow Rich. And so what we do after we read our main book, which in this case is going to be The Science of Getting Rich, we'll come back and read anywhere from a paragraph to a few pages of Think and Grow Rich, and we'll discuss all of what we've read. And if somebody has questions, wants to know more of how it works, reach out, no problem, we'll be happy to answer. And as Kim was saying earlier, no homework, no prep work, no obligation to show up every single week. You show up when you show up and you get what you get. And you will inevitably show up when the timing is right and when you hear the message that you need to hear. That's just
I love that you just shared that, because people sometimes say, oh, I don't know if I can make it every Wednesday. I don't know. Here's what I know. For the price of a cup of coffee, you get to, if you try to go to a movie, you wouldn't get this. So, for the price of a cup of coffee, you walk in a room and you're always welcome. We haven't seen some people in a year and then they show up and we remember you because the time you came, there was a reason you're there. You can take this to the bank. The universe is going to unfold exactly as it should. It has perfect timing. We don't always have perfect timing, but the universe does. It gives you what you need, when you need it, how you need it. And if we can have faith, which is like an amazing gift to give yourself, to let go and believe. You see these things, let go and let God, let go and get calm, let go, like there's a whole series on that. But really, take the freedom that you have the right to. Give yourself a break. How often do you get the chance to be in a room and listen or read and share or not? And I assure you, you cannot help but walk away, and you've been there since the very beginning. Isn't it a wonderful thing when people come in and they say, well, I don't know that book. And they're very reluctant and they sit there in the back, but they come. And isn't it a wonderful thing when they say, okay, I can read with you now? Or all of a sudden, they're delivering the information as if they wrote it
That's right.
with a whole new spin.
It's amazing.
It's
And
amazing.
I love that we take the summer off, but I love coming back to this, and I'm so looking forward to it. And I look forward to this every week. I'm busy. I got a busy life. Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, Wednesday night. And I always look forward to it. And I'm always so happy that it just feeds my soul. For me, it's amazing. And I really hope that other people will find it amazing too. And I believe you will.
I'm sure. And what I'll share with you is if you don't have the book, don't worry about it. And if you do have the book, fantastic. And, I've been in rooms with people reading books and say, I really don't like that book. The first time I picked up Think and Grow Rich, and we've all seen my version of it, I was so like, I don't want to read this book. Like, this isn't in my job description. And it's just a really interesting thing to see what you catch when. And I want to say right now that at Sage Navigation, we send out a newsletter. If you're in here and you're not signed up for the newsletter, all it is a bunch of insights. And you will read it when you're ready, and you'll hear the message you're supposed to hear when you're ready. And it will be life-changing when you hear it, because it's going to be a message from you to you. And jump on a call to find out more. I'd love to have that conversation. And really, when I think about the newsletter, I also think about we pick a book a month. That's not book club. We in the newsletter say, what book are we wanting to reference? So whether you're part of book club or you're receiving the newsletter, we do book of the month. And as it turns out, The Science of Getting Rich is our September book of the month. All summer, Think and Grow Rich has been the book of the summer. And sharing that, we have gone live every Friday morning. No, Friday at lunch, 12 o'clock Eastern time. We go live for 15 to 25 minutes, and we talk about the application of what you learn in Think and Grow Rich. So you're going to find it interesting in book club. If you want to try it and join us, please reach out so that we can get you started on it. You want to just say, well, I'm going to test this out and see how it is. That's fine. Reach out, ask questions. And I'd like to do it if, like, I read, this is a funny one. I would say signs of getting rich with a, and Karine always thought I was saying the signs of getting rich. And I wasn't. I was saying the science of getting rich. But I want to tell you, the signs of getting rich are joining communities of people talking about what you want to hear about. If you're in here and we're talking about the things you want to hear about, fabulous. If you want more of something, put it in the comments, make posts. I know you've read other books. I know you've seen quotes. If you see something that catches your attention, why not share it with the rest of the community? I assure you they are open to hearing it. Okay. So when you say the signs of getting rich, imagine the signs of getting rich when you're reading books like this. The signs show up on a regular basis. And what are you doing with them? So I like my version of the signs of getting rich, though that's not the name of the book. Karen, maybe we could take a minute, because Bob Proctor suggested in the Signs of Getting Rich to read chapters 4, 7, 11, and 14 every day. And we talked about that, Karina and I, recently. And I will say that a habit is formed, they say, in 21 days, but after 90 days of reading it, it fills your soul and things happen, and I can't explain. But if we can take our book and look at the chapter on gratitude and give an example of how book club will work. If we go to the page before, maybe you can start with look out and then do it and I'll pass. So let's do a mini example. In your book, I'm on page 93. Look out in
which book?
The Science of Getting Rich.
Okay.
Do you see look out for temptation? It's in the, oh, it's in the impression of increase. I'm sorry, I tricked you.
Okay, I got it. I got it now. I'm with you now.
Okay, let's do an example of what it looks like in our book club.
Okay.
So start with look out and then pass.
Okay. Look out for the temptation to seek for authority, to become a master, to be considered as one who is above the common herd, to impress others by having display, and so on. The mind that seeks for mastery over others is the competitive mind, and the competitive mind is not the creative one. In order to master your environment and your destiny, it is not at all necessary that you should rule over your fellow men, and indeed, when you fall into the world struggle for the high places, you begin to be conquered by fate and environment, and your getting rich becomes a matter of chance and speculation. Pass.
Another person will read. In this case, it's me. And it goes around the room like that. Or I might say pass because I don't want to read. And another one after me will read. But it just goes and rotates. So now I'll continue. Thank you, Karen. Beware of the competitive mind. No better statement of the principle of creative action can be formulated than the favorite declaration of the late Golden Rule, Jones of Toledo. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. And then what do, Karen, with that? We've just read this. We've just read Think and Grow Rich. And we'll touch that next week. For now, so we've just read, and it comes to the conversation, meaningless and meaningful. We highlight, so you would highlight, you would highlight something that stood out for you.
Right.
So did something stand out for you, Karen?
So we'd each discuss about, well, this stood out for me. And if somebody doesn't have something that stood out for them, we will still continue on with the conversation, and maybe other people in the group have something that stood out for them.
We don't call anybody out. We don't say, Katherine, what do you think? No. We asked, does anybody have anything to share? And basically, some of us have a lot to share. So what do? I hold back until it gets kind of silent. And when nobody has anything to share, I'll share something new. And sometimes I'll even refer something that's similar to another book. And we all do that. So once you're comfortable, you share. And if you're not comfortable, you'll share and hear, right? So I want to share this. By design, I read this every day. I'm on my day 60 of 90. And this is what stands out all the time. So if you're here, I want you to hear this. I want you to hear from my lips and my voice to your ears. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. How powerful is that if each of us looked and said, after you've helped yourself, because you can't help anybody if you haven't helped yourself. So how can I help you? To be aware and awake. Does it get any better?
It's very interesting on many, many levels. And I'm also thinking about the opposite, people who will say, oh, you idiot, what are you doing? And have a negative self-talk, but you wouldn't talk to somebody else like that. So what I want for myself, I want for everybody. And it's the same. The opposite is also true. What I want for everybody, if I'm not going to talk to them like that, why would I talk to myself like that?
And there's a mastermind alliance at work. The book said something. I said something. The universe gave a message to Karen. And here we've shared something brand new. First time I've heard it that way. And that's what it looks like when you're in movement without a competitive mind, not trying to compete for space, not trying to compete for getting your words out, not trying. And I can tell you, I used to be like, I was afraid to forget what I had to say. So you know what I've done? I've got a writing pad now beside me so that I don't disturb as much. It's been a learned process, but I'm growing up and I'm doing it. And you didn't, and you know, one of the things I'll say to you when you're in a community like that, there are people close to me. And last night that happened to me. I was in a meeting that they know my dreams. They know they're like, I don't share my dreams with everybody I love and know. They're not ready to hear them. But I share my dreams with a community of people that are on the journey with me. And when I make the mistake of saying, if that happens, my dearest people, and that's what you get in this community, remind me, if they don't, if, and I right away say, no, when that happens, because it's so natural to say, well, if I get to do that, or when I have time, I'll do that, or when, but it's a whole new way when you start positive talking to yourself, positive self-talk. So we offer an environment that accepts nothing but that. And it's not that we've had people come in sick, dealing with grief and death. It's just a sucky day. It just isn't cool and not good. And when they come in, Patty Loveless in her song, How Can I Help You Heal the Pain? We're reminded, how can I help you? It's okay to cry and it's okay to be sad, but please don't stay there too long. And don't feel bad if you laugh at something when you're sad. It's okay.
It is okay. And you know what? That's a great time to be in a supportive community, is when you need support.
So
So
we work with feeding our mind all the time.
yes.
And none of us are psychologists or psychiatrists, and we recognize mental health as something very important, and that's out of our league. There's professionals for that. We're talking about growing your thoughts.
And I want to add one other thing also, is that even if you've read these books before, sometimes hearing it being read out loud by somebody else can bring you a new perspective. Just rereading things that you've already read on your own individually can bring you a new message, and you know the stuff that you've already learned, so you're open to receive something new. But sometimes hearing it from somebody different will bring a little bit of a different idea into your head, as well as the discussions that we have that can change the perspective that you look at things from.
So Karen Postema, thank you very much for accepting to be the Wealth Pillar Sage Chief Navigator. And we're so excited. And Karine, I'll speak for Karine. I know she said it to you, but both of us are very excited. We're excited for our regular group of people to welcome new people, and they become yesterday's news in today's world because they're part of us. Thank you. And pour tous nos amis ici, on vient de Montréal, merci beaucoup d'être avec nous. S'il y a plusieurs personnes qui veulent participer, on les souhaite bienvenue, et on va le faire en français. On va trouver un autre temps que ça vous convient, que ça va bien pour vous. On comprend, on a le livre en français. C'est vraiment des bonnes histoires, et merci beaucoup d'être ici avec nous.
Merci.
Merci. Thank you, Karen. Catherine Mullen, wishing you fabulous. Shine bright, really bright. And if you're too bright for the world around you, go to the dollar store and buy some sunglasses and hand them out. Don't dim yourself. Get brighter. So, thank you.
Good night.
Have fun.